Hi everyone, I'm John C. Morley, the host of the J Moore Tech Talk Show and Inspirations for Your Life. Hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is great to be with you guys. Welcome, welcome. It is so great to have you here. Welcome if you're just joining us. I guess you might be just joining us from the Instagram or other channels. Well, welcome everyone. This is the J Moore Tech Talk Show. We usually do kickoff on Fridays, but been a little bit crazy with people visiting and other things happening. So I always try to get these things going, but sometimes, like one of these shows, unfortunately, like J Moore Tech, sometimes does fall by the wayside just because it is an hour show and I have to do a lot of stuff. Basically, the reels get done every week. And then so you guys know, once the reels are completed, then I do more the detailed version of the reels on Friday. And then the next week, I start off with a whole new set of reels and then those topics, and then they come out on the next J Moore Tech Talk Show, which will actually be May 10th. So this is the May 3rd show, ladies and gentlemen. If you're joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I want to thank you, whether you're here at the time we're airing or you're here any other time. Thank you so much for trusting all my great content, including the J Moore Tech Talk Show, Inspiration for Your Life, John C. Morley behind the mic, and all the other shows and great content I have. I'm so grateful for all you guys being here. Do scan that QR code, because once you do that, you will unlock the door to lots of information that can help inspire and improve the quality of your life. All right, guys, let's just get right into it. So tonight's show is Tech Wave Ride, the currents of innovation. That's what our show is tonight. We're on Series 3, which means we are in the third year. And we're on show number 18. Can you believe that, ladies and gentlemen? We are on show number 18. I think that is pretty amazing, ladies and gentlemen. So great to have us here with that. And thank you so much. Our first topic, ladies and gentlemen, is humanoid robots. They're mastering the art of failing. Did you know that? Yes. Humanoid robots are mastering the art of falling. They are mastering the art of falling. And so one company that brings this to light is Boston Dynamics. You guys know them for their robot Spot that they create, and they have other robots that they've created as well. But something interesting about Boston Dynamics is that this company, unlike other companies, when they build things, they build them to what? Break. Well, Boston Dynamics, they build their robots to take a beating and keep on ticking. I mean, that's pretty remarkable that they could build a product like that. And that's the whole thing. I mean, they're built for industry, and their products just last. People know their name, and I think it's great that they're really starting to understand what it means to fall and to get back up, okay? Mastering the art of falling safely. So they understand they got to fall, and they're going to get up. And, every time they fall, they don't get hurt, okay? The thing is, if you ever watched one of these robots that they make, especially their new Atlas, the robot, you would think, would get up the way we would get up, right, with our legs. Well, what it can actually do is pivot itself all the way around, and it can actually, instead of us, like when we get up, we will like have our legs on the ground, and we'll basically push the feet up like that. Well, what it does is it actually, let's say if the robot, was on its stomach, for example, we'd have to, basically turn over and kind of like, or meander to try to get ourselves back up, right? Well, what it does is it just pushes the legs out, pushes back, and just turns itself around. That's pretty cool, if you ask me. So it's a must, ladies and gentlemen, that robots learn how to fall, because if they know how to fall, then they will probably be able to mitigate that in the future and hopefully not fall. There is a quick, let's say, rule of thumb that I'm going to read out to you, and it's from Harvard's rules, okay, for falling without injury. And this is what they say, and I quote, "Protect your head, use weight to direct your fall, bend your knees, and avoid taking other people with you." Let me say that just 2 more times. Protect your head, use your weight to direct your fall, bend your knees, and avoid other people, basically taking other people down with you. So protect your head, use your weight to direct your fall, bend your knees, and avoid taking other people down with you. So that is really important, ladies and gentlemen. So that's just one point. We have a lot more to cover here tonight. So this is something that is the epitome of robots, because if they don't learn how to fall well, you know what's going to happen? Well, they're just going to be a real problem. How many of you out there bought a Ring doorbell? Not me. I wasn't buying one. You know why? Because I knew something was going to go wrong. Yes, Ring has a settlement going on right now with the FTC. And so the FTC is sending total payments now, PayPal payments totaling more than $5.6 million to 117,044 people who had an account with Ring, a home security camera company. And, you know, Amazon basically bought the company. They thought they were going to make some big money. FTC sued Ring for failing to protect customer accounts, the video data, right? Keeping it private. The FTC says, and I quote, that Ring's failures let employees have too much access to customer videos and made accounts vulnerable to online attacks, close quote. So they also said, quote, in some cases, hackers took control of customer accounts, cameras, and videos, close quote. The settlement is requiring Ring to pay money, delete videos it shouldn't have stored anyway, and establish a strong privacy and security program. The FTC is now using the money to provide refunds to eligible customers. So if you get a PayPal payment, please accept it within 30 days. That is what the FTC is requiring. If you have not applied to get your money back and you want to see if you're eligible, well, you can call Rust Consulting. That's Rust Consulting, R-U-S-T Consulting, and you can call them at 1-833-637-4884. The call won't cost you a penny. It's toll free. It's 1-833-637-4884. Again, contact Rust Consulting by calling 1-833-637-4884. Let them know what model of Ring device you have and when you purchased it, where you purchased it. And if you can't call them, well, you can also email. And it's real simple, info@ring.com. That has a nice catch or ring to it, no pun intended. Info@ring.com. Info@ring.com. But, you know, all these big companies, you know, they think that they're above everybody and that they can do whatever they want. But the real push comes when there becomes a class action suit that comes center stage. Nobody thinks this is ever going to happen to anybody. And they feel, well, you know, they're Amazon, they're this, they're that. And $5.6 million in refund payments to certain Ring home security system customers after the company settled a federal complaint against accusing it of security lapses. I'll tell you, I was against Ring from day one just because I didn't feel like I had complete confidence in the way they were doing things. And, you know, this is all on things like New York Times, Forbes. It even made AP Press, Associated Press, right? FTC sends $5.6 million in refunds to Ring customers as part of video privacy settlement. But they're going to require a lot more than just money. They're going to really keep their eyes and tails on this company, Amazon, who owns Ring, because the thing is, they don't want this to ever happen again. And according to a notice the FTC is sending, 117,000 $44 PayPal payments to impacted customers. But again, there's still more money going to be paid out, and the FTC had plenty of fines. So this is a big issue. And I have to tell you, if you bought a Ring camera, well, I feel sorry for you, but I just feel like Amazon, they get themselves involved with things, but then they don't really understand the true ramifications or the liabilities. So they just do whatever the heck they want until somebody calls them on the carpet, like an attorney or a judge. So if you purchase a device, you can send an email to info@ring.com, or you can call Russ Consulting at 1-833-637-4884. In more lawsuits, Doxo. Yes, Doxo. Who the heck is Doxo? Well, they were sued by the Federal Trade Commission, a bill payment company, Doxo's claiming that they're disputing the unjust allegations of deceptive billing. But this is why the FTC went after them. So the FTC is basically suing Doxo. And again, they're claiming that they are putting out misleading information, deceiving customers about affiliations with companies, ignoring consumer complaints and warnings from billers. So what Doxo is a company that allows you to take your bills and have them pay them either through paper check or through, automated clearinghouse, right? Doxo, quote, according to them, quote, Doxo intercepted consumers trying to reach their billers and trick them into paying millions of dollars in junk fees. This is actually per the FTC is saying that, excuse me. And this is Samuel Levine, director of the FTC Bureau of Consumer Protection. And the FTC will continue to take action when companies use deceptive design tricks to harm their customers. According to the FTC, Doxo purchases search engine ads that appear when consumers search online for information about companies they owe bills to. These ads are created to mislead customers into believing that Doxo is affiliated with those companies. The complaint cites, as an example, Doxo's ads that are designed to trick consumers into believing they are affiliated with a prominent medical testing company. Doxo bought ads that appeared when consumers searched for the company's name or website, and the ads included headlines that include the company's name, but not Doxo's. Doxo's landing pages prominently feature the biller's company name and sometimes even their logo, even though Doxo generally does not have a formal relationship with the biller. The complaint also outlines that Doxo's deceptive process to sign consumers up for its recurring subscription program, noting that until February 2024, after learning of the FTC's proposed complaint, the company would automatically check the box to sign consumers up when they clicked to read a terms of service document. In addition, Doxo said consumers would save on the company's delivery fees. Consumers paying for monthly plans are still often charged those fees. So, as it is right now, I wanted to take a look at Doxo's website, and their slogan is transforming the bill pay economy. When I click on their website, I get a website that says one login to manage all your bills. Pay anytime on any device with free payment delivery options. Now, they have, they say 5 essential bill pay protections when you sign up, 1 million identity theft protection, credit protection, overdraft protection, late fee protection, private pay protection, achieve bill pay peace of mind, pay bills with free payment delivery. The thing about this is if you're wondering how it works, it's pretty simple. There's no setup fees. They say there's no hidden fees, but they do charge you a monthly fee. So Doxo Plus provides a comprehensive package of tools to manage and protect paying bills with premium fees, including the 1 million identity protection, credit score monitoring, and late fee and overdraft protection. And they say you can protect and strengthen your financial goals while safety is securely paying bills. So you can basically go to find a biller. You can pay bills, so you can pick up, like, let's say, for example, I go to my cable or satellite company, or maybe I will go, you even have a mortgage company, you have electric, you have gas. If I go to health insurance, I click on health insurance, and it lists the most popular in your area. Like, for example, where I am, it's Regency Blue Shield of Washington, Mason Franciscan Health Swedish Aetna Insurance, CMS Medicare Insurance, Cigna, Molina Healthcare, and Integra Insurance Companies. If you click I don't have this service, they ask you to fill out your email address and your password and create account. Click create account. So you can very easily do this. I mean, what they're doing is not new. But the fact that Doxo is being alleged of, let's say, doing deceptive advertising is concerning to everyone. And bill payment companies are not new. They've been around for a long time. Consumers have had their gas, water, electricity cut off because of Doxo's practices, and the U.S. regulators are having enough. So Doxo really is not doing what they claim to do. Doxo, a relatively unknown bill payment platform, has allegedly been deceiving and scamming consumers for years through deceptive online marketing. And the FTC said enough is enough. So are there other online bill payment companies? Yeah, sure. There are many online bill payment companies. I mean, you can get some. There's one you probably know. There's one called Zelle. You probably know that one. There's lots of them out there, and a lot of your banks they actually they outsource. Okay. Some of them tell you, like some banks do use Zelle, a fast and easy way to send and receive money. You can see if your bank offers Zelle, and so very easy to do it that way, right? So you can get started by enrolling your email address, mobile number through your mobile banking app or with Zelle app. You enter the preferred email address, and you send money to almost anyone, and they get it. Those are people you know and trust. But the thing is, who was the first bill payment platform for consumers? Does anybody know who that was? It was a long, long time ago. And I have to tell you that when I first started out, it was something as simple as $5 or $6 a month. Then it suddenly, skyrocketed up to like $29. And then it went even further. So the thing that a lot of people don't realize is most banks offer bill payment services for free. For free. Okay, they do not charge. And I think that's pretty cool. They don't charge you if you want special things like faster delivery. They'll charge you for that, but they tell you when something's going to be delivered. So I think this is really a cool system, how they can do this. But online bill payment is not new. It's been around for a long time. Now you can use an app. When I did it many years ago, there were no apps, and you could just use a website. And I have to tell you, I'm trying to remember the name of the company I used. Oh, I just remember the name. It's called, I think it was called Pravanta Bill Payment Services, if I remember if that's the correct one. Pravanta, that's ringing a name for me. And so many banks will allow you to just pay your bills easily and effortlessly. Okay? But what Doxo is doing is running ads and confusing people. So I want to tell you a little about a story. So many of you guys know Groupon, okay? So I want to tell you about a story. So it was coming up, Mother's Day is coming up, and I wanted to get my mom something, which I did. But what I wanted to tell you was that I saw this flash come into my email from Groupon. And it was a little deceptive, because here's what they did. They said to me that I was going to get this delivery of flowers free. It would normally be like $35, and it only would cost me $9. Well, that wasn't entirely true. I did purchase it. I did pay for it. And then I had to redeem the voucher. That's how Groupon works. But what I bought was a voucher that I still had to put more money toward. So basically, if I buy something that was, let's say, $60, they would take $35 off. But that wasn't really explained well. So I have to think, and this was a company called Bloom, and I'm really, really disappointed. And now I'm going to be very I'm going to say on the edge to make sure that I don't do that again. Of course, I didn't really get a bad deal because I bought an 80 or 60 or 75, thing of flowers for my mom. And normally that would have costed like $75. So the $75, I got free shipping, fine, delivery. And then they gave me $35 off. So it cost me like 40, 42 something and change with the tax. So these are important things. And I think a lot of people out there, I don't want to say that they think people are stupid, but they feel that if a deal comes through, you're just going to go through. Now, when I saw the deal, again, it didn't seem like a scam. It wasn't phishing. I recognized Groupon. And it's not Groupon's fault, but I would probably make a complaint to Groupon because I don't think they did the right thing. I don't think they should have allowed that kind of an offer. Does that make sense to you guys? Hopefully it does. But I want to tell you something. This is something that is going to keep me on the edge now to make sure that doesn't happen again. And let's move on to our next topic. We have lots of topics here tonight. Baltimore County school scandal involving AI manipulation. So what actually happened? Well, this is a very, this is a very interesting story, and one that you would think is not, one that probably is not a big deal, but it really is. So what happened is the former athletic director of Pikesville High School, and he was apprehended for allegations of using AI. Okay, using AI software to fabricate an audio recording of Eisworth. And it was used not only for that, but it was used to fake a racist recording of the principal. And this according to the police. So the Pikesville High School athletic director was arrested not too long ago in connection with the artificial intelligence made audio clip of the school's principal having a fake racist conversation. Dazan Darian, who is just 31 years old, is now charged with disrupting school activities after Baltimore County police say he created the falsified audio recording of Eric Eisworth in January, the principal of the school, and the audio clip using the principal's voice went viral and was swiftly condemned by the Baltimore County community. The school was inundated with outraged calls and needed an increased police presence and additional counselors. So I think the problem is that some people feel that they can just do whatever they want. And that's not the right thing. And I don't know why he did this. Was he trying to just get him fired? I mean, sometimes people do things because they're jealous of you. And if they're jealous of you, they either A, want to make more than you, they want to have more than you, or they want to make sure that you get less or that you lose what you have. See, that's what crazy people do in our world, unfortunately. So kudos to basically the police department there, the Baltimore County Police, for arresting Mr. Dazan Darian at 31 years old. And now I believe that the principal, Principal Eisworth's name is now restored. But I think we have to be alert because when we hear something, even if it's something that throws us off, before we react, we need to figure out, is this information real? Because I know we want to react like, I can't believe he would do this to me. I can't believe she would do this to me. I mean, and before you go off your rocker and be upset or excommunicate them from you or your life or your whole group of people, figure out, was it really true? And that might take a little due diligence. So before you open your mouth and basically start, going X because this statement, is causing a problem for you, you want to first figure out how it was done and why. And then you might need to get law enforcement involved. You may need to do that in the beginning as well. All right, guys, so that is what went on with Baltimore. Really, really terrible. And the question still is so why did Dazan, this is his name, Dazan, use AI to hurt Eric Eisworth? Why did he really do that? cops are saying that potentially the athletic director of the school, when he manufactured the recording to retaliate against Eisworth for opening an investigation into Darian's misuse of school funds. Aha! So Darian is facing charges of theft, disturbing school operations, retaliating against a witness, and stalking. Oh, boy. So he's got a real triple there. So when you do something wrong, you've got to pay the piper, right? And the principal was just doing what he's supposed to do. And so he wanted to get back at the principal. Remember I told you it's usually because something happens or... So that was really bad. And first of all, he should never have been doing that in the first place. And he may be facing more charges besides just theft and disturbing school operations. The witness on stalking, I think that could be a real serious problem. So I think he's got bigger issues, and hopefully you guys can appreciate Eric Eisworth, who's the principal there, and my hat off to him for having to deal with all this and the challenges there. And definitely a kudos to the police department because they are very grateful, and I know I'm very grateful that the athletic director was arrested, and they were able to clear Eric Eisworth. I think that is really good. And, this stuff is still going to happen, unfortunately, but doing what he did and falsifying a recording. Didn't he know he was going to get caught? I mean, I don't know. All right, guys. And Saudi Arabia's massive investment in AI. What gives? Like, why are they spending so much money? Well, there was an AI superpower, basically, initiative that they wanted to be part of. So they had a conference of about 200,000 people, and they announced that they're going to be spending a $5.3 billion investment on data centers and artificial intelligence. Why? Because Saudi Arabia wants to become an AI superpower. Maybe they're hoping that they might gain more allies. Maybe they just want more control. I don't know. But it's interesting that they're suddenly spending that kind of money. We don't see a lot of other companies doing that. All right, and the FCC. They talked about them a lot tonight, haven't we? The FCC's restoration of net neutrality rules. So what is net neutrality? Well, so net neutrality was something that was in state and, let's say, monitor a while back, but then it got laxed. And so net neutrality is basically stating that ISPs are not able to block certain types of data or prioritize others. And this is something that is now going to be monitored and enforced by, yes, you guessed it, our good old friends, yes, at the FCC, Federal Communications Commission. So just so you know, companies cannot prioritize others' traffic. They can't do that. And it's very important because net neutrality affects anyone who uses the internet, and it deals with all types of content they can access, not just data and, let's say video. We're talking about audio too. We're talking about any kind of file, all right? Any kind of streaming that could happen. And net neutrality has been around since the early days of the internet. It became a real, let's say, sore spot politically in the last few years, dividing the FCC and prompting protests. And if you're a supporter of net neutrality or reading about it for the first time, for me, then hopefully you're going to understand the basics and know that net neutrality is about having things fair. So having equal lines. So in net neutrality, it's that all information that moves across the internet should be treated equally, and the telephone companies should not block, throttle, or prioritize online content. This doesn't mean that if you pay more money that you can't do things, but net neutrality is just stating that people in that same category can't be given a prioritization. So I think that's really important. So it's called a neutral network, and some lanes of the network, we see this with Verizon, Time Warner, Optimum, right? Altice now, their new name. Other broadband mobile companies, right? And so when you have equal lanes, just like on a highway, everything moves at the same pace. When you have prioritized networks, you might have 3 lanes that are prioritized, but then the other lane, let's say, is moving at like a snail pace, if it's even moving at all. All right. And here's another one I think that really should hopefully open your eyes to some challenges in the world. And this is about the fact that bad actors are now, let's say, cornering 3-year-olds and targeting them for a very bad type of attack, one in which they befriend them, and then they're asking them to perform disturbing sexual acts via phone, webcam, and this is all per Ofcom and in Europe. And so I think we've got to be aware of it. And the other thing that we have to do is we have to know that people that are giving that phone, especially to minors, they need to have a conversation with them and let them know who the bad actors are. And I think people have to understand that, because if they don't understand that, I mean, they think everything is great. And I don't mean to put like a negative, but I mean, you just got to be aware of it, right? If you're aware of what's going on, then I think it's something that you're going to probably get a taste of sooner or later. And I'm not saying I want you to, but if you don't school your minors about this, then I will tell you it's going to come back to bite you and them. So what I'm telling you now is just be mindful of it. And that's probably the most important thing I can tell you. And so when you're mindful of it, that's going to hopefully make it easier. But the fact that bad actors are targeting 3-year-olds, and even video conference and even chat, right? So this is all about the social media platform law and what we've been talking about, and the FBI has been doing, let's say, immense programs about this. The FBI has seen a huge increase in the number of cases involving children and teens being threatened and coerced into sending explicit images online, a crime called sextortion, which is something that didn't exist many years ago. So this can start on any site, any app, any messaging platform, or any game where people meet and communicate. You see, what happens is they try to friend people, then they start asking questions, and if the person doesn't know who they're talking with, they shouldn't do that. And then they ask them to go on camera, and then so that shouldn't even be allowed. There's a couple things you can do. One, talk to your minors about that. Second, you need to make sure that the phone time they have, if they're going to do any video chatting or texting, that you're aware of it and you know what's going on. And you can use parental controls, and a lot of the networks, AT&T, Verizon, they have these systems. If you're at home, you can even control things as well. And so basically, in the cases, what will happen is the offender will receive, as I said, sexual explicit material from the child, and then threatens to release the compromising material unless the victim sends money or a gift card. And the amount requests vary. Now, this is not done for the kids. This is more done on the financial level, on like in jobs and things. But what I'm talking about is they're doing it because they're just seeing them as an easy prey, and it's just a stupid thing that you're getting away with, and they feel they can because nobody can track them. See, it's never been anything that was a problem before, but now it is a problem, and now we need to be addressing it. So threats change every day, ladies and gentlemen. What was safe yesterday may not be safe today. And so we have to be really on top of things, knowing how things are coming at us, knowing where threats are coming at us, knowing about bad actors, knowing what's going on in your community, knowing people that might be a potential threat, communicating. And so it's better to communicate and be safe than be sorry. So I would urge you guys to have the talk early and make sure that you monitor all types of texting. Let's say things like it even could be email, but video chat. And so you can even restrict who the person texts to on these different parental control systems. So, for example, they could maybe text grandma, they could text you, they could text anybody in the family, but they can't text anybody outside your social circle. Like that might be just your immediate family and maybe your grandparents. Anybody else requires a parent's authorization to allow that text to go through. And video chatting, same thing, can be restricted to only people in the family. So I think this is something we all need to be concerned about. And you can implement these services, and they don't cost any money. It's just people say, oh, I don't want to be bothered. Well, if you don't want to be bothered, I hate to see that you become a statistic because you couldn't take time to figure out something that could potentially save your kids' lives. All right. And major outages on Facebook, AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. Like, what the blank is going on with these companies? I don't get it, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I can tell you, it comes down to a couple things. One, customers and clients, they're struggling to access their apps and their websites, and it's getting worse. Facebook is having big issues. We've seen this. And it's a problem. And so the border gateway protocol on Facebook was not configured properly, and it went down for about 6 hours. Tens of thousands for the App Store and the Apple TV and AWS, Amazon's web services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud have all gone down, disappointing thousands of customers. You see, just because you're a company and you're big or you're publicly traded, this does not mean that you can't go down. And it usually happens, A, because they may not have the money, B, they may not have the technical know-how, and C, they may just feel that it's non-issue. So you have money, not having the staffing to do it, and then they really just don't know. So these are things that are going to continue to plague us and harm the world, because more and more sites, like I told you, they are going down. I went to a site the other day to log in. It was I won't give you the name of the site, but it was a site that's that I had to register a technology device out, and it said to me, "Oh, our site is down for maintenance." In the middle of the darn day, guys, it's down for maintenance. I mean, I just don't get it. Like, I think there's a big problem, okay? And you need to complain. And by complaining, you could do things like reporting the incident to the company, sending a letter, certified letter, reporting it to different agencies. And so the fact that Facebook had a BGP issue, which is a border gateway protocol, the set of rules that determine the best route for data transmission on the internet. And if that's messed up, your traffic's not going anywhere to their servers. It's just going to give you a site not available or some error, right? So I think a lot of these big companies feel that, oh, it's not going to happen to us. We're so big, it's never going to happen. But the thing is, it's exactly who it does happen to. And Apple did go ahead and release a fix. Now, you might be saying, well, John, it wasn't really a bug. Well, it was. People were typing the word Jerusalem in the emoji search window. And when they did this, the Palestinian flag emoji showed up. Now, people say, well, gee, it is correct. That should show up. But is that a bug or is this not? Regardless of whether it's a bug or not, it's offensive. So after enough people complained to Apple, guess what they did? They fixed it. So when you go to the emojis lookup now, you no longer will get the Palestinian flag when you type in Jerusalem. So that's something there to note. How about the Commodore 64? You guys remember it? Well, the Commodore 64, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but it is the most famous computer. And it was manufactured between 1982 and 1993. Did you know that just almost 30 million were sold worldwide. Today, the value of the Commodore 64 is between $50 to $300, depending on the type of keyboard, accessories, chips, storage, RAM, etc. That's what would affect the cost. And this was the computer that allowed people to simply create quick programs by some stored code that could call on some set functions in chips, like certain peaks would cause certain sounds to happen, etc. And you were able to just cause a lot of hardware to be accessed by nothing more than maybe a few lines of code. And you could even do things like draw graphics and all kinds of stuff. And I remember my very first program on the Commodore 64 was pretty amazing. But I don't know if you guys knew that it was the most famous computer, the Commodore 64, the most famous computer out there. And I think it's something how we can just look back. And I'll tell you that this is something that really plexes a lot of people. And it's the fact that this computer today, okay, has an amazing, amazing story behind it. And the thing you might be asking me is, hey, John, how did the Commodore 64 evolve? Well, it was known as the Commodore 64 because it's an 8-bit home computer. It was introduced in 1982 by Commodore International, and it was first shown at CES, Consumer Electronics Show, in the January 7th to 10th, 1982 show, Las Vegas, and it's been listed in the Guinness World Records as the highest-selling single computer model of all time. And they sold between 12.5 to 17 million units. That's just under 30 million. And volume production started in 1982 in August, and it was about marketing in August for about $595, equivalent to $1880 in 2023. It was preceded by the VIC-20 and the Commodore PET. The C64, it's named from its 64 kilobytes, with support for multicolor sprites and a custom chip for waveform generation. It could create superior visuals and audio compared to systems without such custom hardware. So it was really a person's like dream box. You create so many amazing things. You could even build games with it. But then you're probably saying, John, why did it go away? You know, why did the Commodore 64 not evolve to another version? Well, it was limited. And you might want to know, why did it fail? That's probably the question we want to know. It faced problems when marketing the Amiga, of still being seen as the company that made cheap computers like the C64 and the VIC. The C64 remained the company's cash cow, but its technology was aging. And by 1980, the personal computer market had become dominated by IBM PCs and Apple Macintosh platforms. So that was no surprise. So we've always talked about this before. If you don't market something right, it's like it doesn't exist to people, right? And another story I want to bring to your attention is cybersecurity breaches in government networks. Now, this is one I think that's going to hopefully wake your eyes up. Do any of you guys know who Arcane? It was actually Arcane Door Spies. It was called Arcane. I think that's the name. Arcane, ARCANE Door Cyber Spies was the name. And the thing that's interesting about this company is the cyber spies hacked Cisco firewalls to access, ladies and gentlemen, government networks. That's just terrible. Cisco did release updates to address the arcane door exploitation of Cisco adaptive security appliances. And a cyber threat actor could exploit them if they were not taken care of. That was this critical vulnerability CVE exposure 2024-20353, CVE 2024-20359, and CVE 2024-20358 to take control of an affected system. Cisco had reported active exploitation of the CV 2024-20353 and CV 2024-20359, and CISA has added these vulnerabilities to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. So, I don't know, guys. I just can't believe that they didn't do their due diligence on this. You know? I lost my faith in Cisco a long time ago, and I won't air that all here. But I lost my faith in Cisco when one of our clients had a problem, and CVU's common vulnerabilities and exposures. I lost my faith with them when a client's business switch went down. Now, business switches were the ones that are supposed to have 24-hour support replacement, right? And this business switch was one that wasn't like your typical one. It was able to do basically, it could do layer 2, it could do layer 3, so it could do networking. And so network routing. And the thing that was interesting about the switch is that we had several VLANs, which all could be done on the layer 2 side. And so that's really what most were using. And so with the layer 2 side, suddenly what we noticed, not so much the VLANs, but we noticed that some of the ports were not, let's say, negotiating up to the highest speed of the equipment connected. So that's how it was at 10, 100, 1000 auto sensing. And some of them were dropping to 100 or 10, but they weren't able to do 1,000 unless I set it hard to 1,000. Called Cisco. It's usually a joke when you call them. And I called them up, told them what was going on, and they told me I needed to reset the device. I did all that already. I told them that, I don't have time for this. They need to resolve it. They told me they're not able to help me because this doesn't, yada. It was all a bunch of nonsense. So I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this box that I have. I'm going to throw it in the dumpster, and I'm going to get my client another box. And if anybody ever orders anything from your company again, not even a penny, they will be fired on the spot, because the way you're treating me today is terrible. And a company that just wants to buy me trips and take me on boat cruises, they don't care about me or my business. They just care about them. And what really made me upset is, I'm going to say it was a few years later. And we had discovered that it might have been around, maybe this might have been step 1, actually. That was kind of the thing that broke the camel's back. About 6 months earlier, we learned at one of the trips they took us to with these high-speed cigarette boats that the unified communication system that they made for small business is going to be discontinued. I said, well, what do I do? Oh, we got to sell them a new platform. I said, well, that's crazy. They can't afford that. I said, well, that's what we're doing. We're working on small business. Small business is not what you're working on. Small business is people that are like 10 to 50. Their idea of small business is like 75 and up or 60 and up. And I said, and they said, well, it's just going to be discontinued. So I said, anybody that's going to do that kind of crap, I don't want to work with them anymore. And then when they did the other thing with the switch, I said, we're done. We are completely done. And what you guys may not know is, unfortunately, Cisco does provide a lot of the hardware for our government. Why is our government not flipping? Why aren't they going to someone else? Why is Cisco still in business? That's my question. Cisco's a marketing company. They lost their technology genius many, many years ago. That's my opinion. When they built a unified communication system, which is a phone system, and in the middle of the night, the system just froze and couldn't take phone calls because they had a memory glitch. And yes, you could go to their website and check it. They never emailed you. You could go to their website and check it, download the patch, and you're good to go. But I was like, really? You'd release something that's that unstable? Like, I mean, come on, guys. So the whole joke about getting certified with Cisco is another joke to me. It's just a waste of money. And the only people that benefit is Cisco. I don't see any company that's ever used Cisco that has long-term benefits. If somebody has it and it's running their business, they're grateful for it, but they don't know any better. So the fact that Cisco is responsible for a lot of our governments, well, that really kind of puts a monkey wrench into my belief that they're really good, because they've caused problems before. They're going to cause more problems. And why is the government stepping up and saying, hey, we need to be responsible? All right, guys, we got time for one more topic, and just under the nickel wire here. So Poland's prosecutor said recently the government used spyware, more specifically Pegasus, against hundreds of people. This was Adam Bodner, who was Poland's prosecutor. And so the thing about this is that it was crazy. So who made Pegasus spyware? That's probably what you're asking. So Pegasus is a spyware developed by the Israeli cyber arms company NSO Group that's designed to be covertly and remotely installed on mobile phones running iOS and Android. And the NSO Group markets Pegasus as a product for fighting crime and terrorism. Governments around the world have routinely used the spyware to surveil journalists, lawyers, political and dissidents, and human rights activists. The sale of Pegasus licenses to foreign governments must be approved by the Israeli Defense Ministry. Ooh, that's crazy. I think it's crazy that they do that. And so it's called the NSO Group, and it's called Cyber Intelligence for Global Security and Stability. And so I don't know. It's something, but it's bad. And NSO Group produces, they call it best-in-class technology to help government agencies detect and prevent terrorism and crime. And they're used exclusively by government intelligence and law enforcement agencies to fight crime and terror. And so what Poland was doing is they were using Pegasus against their citizens. And they admitted to this. It was a previous, reign of government. And they said it was not great that they did that. I do have time for one more topic, ladies and gentlemen. The last topic that I'd like to share with you, I think you guys will be pretty interested to know about. And that is, where is the largest 3D printer in the world? Well, the largest 3D printer in the world is actually at the University of Maine. And it just unveiled an even bigger one that actually be 4 or 5 times faster and bigger. Ingersoll Machine Tools, Inc. Basically was contracted for the construction of the printer, and Somatex was hired to build the supporting braces for the structure, because this thing is huge. And so they were able to build like houses and things like that. And they're hoping now that they'll be able to build small cities. And if they don't work out, they can just destroy them. So a lot of things are going to be made in 3D printing. The question is this a good thing for our environment? Is it a good thing for people and jobs? And how will this evolve with our country, with trade, and with people? Is it going to be a good product? Is it going to be something that's adaptable to grow in the future? What's the, let's say, detriments on society as far as the eco-friendliness, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys do not know who I am by now, let me introduce myself. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. You know, it's been an amazing privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this fantastic evening. I hope you'll like, love, support the channel, comment below, tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone that you know on social media. Go to my QR code, believemeachieve.com. Why not give me a like and a love? Really appreciate that. It won't cost you anything. And it'll actually probably help you by enjoying my content a little bit more. You know, people that choose to like and love my content find out that when they watch it, they're like, you know, it's free. But when they like it, I just find that they get more value out of it, as opposed to they listen to it, like they feel guilty because like they got it for free. So why not help me out and just like it, love it? Also, if you're on TikTok, why not go ahead and follow me on TikTok? We are working very hard to get all of our programs streamed to TikTok. but we're not the number we need to be yet, but I know you guys can help us get there. We produce some amazing quality content. Just go to believemeachieve.com. And if you're eating right now, or if this is a bad time and you're going to bed, well, doesn't matter. Whenever you decide to watch my content, just go to believemeachieve.com and you can watch it also 24 hours later than the broadcast. This goes into a podcast format for audio. Also goes to the National Radio Network and lots of other places. So check me out. I know you'll really appreciate the content. And I know if you really make the choice and have the passion to change your life, my content will. So have yourself a great evening. And I'll catch you guys next week on the J Moore Tech Talk Show. That'll be May 10th. I'll be right here waiting for you. Take care, everyone, and have a great night and a great rest of your weekend.